Hello everyone and welcome back. I am Duke Silver and today we are playing Mad Catter. Now, Mad Catter is a hero that I don't pick very often, but I think it's a pretty solid early game hero. Getting the stats onto things early can help you win fights and stabilize early and goes a long way to keeping you healthy. Also shout out to Pepino Martinez, you can see down there in the chat, offering some moral support after a tough finish with Zippy on stream there. But yeah, so I like Mad Catter a little bit, but like generally I can find something in the hero selection that I like more. But as you can see, getting the Catter stats onto a ranged character nice and early here is going to go a long way and allow us to win that fight. And then we get to take a pair and then we get a Mim here, and we're gonna play the Minotaur in the back. Oftentimes I would like to play the Minotaur up front to try and take hits for the ranged character. But in this instance, I think I want to try and get the Mim to be able to battle. I think that's going to be a little bit more valuable. It doesn't matter in this particular combat, but we end up winning anyways. And here's a kind of a complicated shop. Like, we have the option to sell something, buy this pair of Vampires. We could buy the 2 and the 3, or we could roll and just take whatever we get Mad Catter stats on. So it's a little bit of a tough shop that, in particular here. I think what we're going to end up doing is we are just going to buy the 3 and the 2 and lock the pair. I mean, getting a pair early is just very nice, especially a pair of 3s, and Vampire on 3.0 is fine. Like, it does scale if it can get slays. So I don't hate it on 3.0. I'm not a big fan of the unit in general, but if you can get it scaling, then it can be all right. Also, just sending an emote over to Jamie Topples, an excellent MTG and Storybook Brawl player and creator. I'm not sure if she recognized me, but so hopefully she didn't think it was just some random throwing emotes at her. But anyways, okay, so now we can roll and get Mad Catter stats on something, but on the other hand, we could also just take the Stag. Stag is just a very good unit, especially early, especially when we have a couple range things we can put behind it. So I think we are going to take the Stag. We're not really getting much out of our hero power right now. We've only gotten one unit with Catter stats. But yeah, we're gonna throw our 0 power creature up in slot 1 there to hopefully take a hit. We get 1 Vampire Slay there, so not the greatest, but the important thing is we were able to get our Stag stats onto our ranged characters, and then we win the fight that way. It's a pretty good support that we could put behind the Vampires, but again, I'm not going to prioritize the Vampires. If they get their slays, that's great and all, but I'm not going to place any kind of importance on them. We get some Catter stats on a Mim, which we'll happily take, and then we'll reorder our characters a little bit here. Also, we get more Catter stats onto another Sure Shot, which turns into a triple. So we've got a very large Sure Shot now, which is fantastic. A large ranged characters are definitely at a premium in this game. So here's between the Skipping Stone. We have 2 pairs, so that's why I'm considering the Skipping Stone. But I think we're just going to go with Lock Chest. It's a little safer, and there's no guarantee that we're going to be able to get to the Skipping Stone in a reasonable manner anyways, especially with Catter. Because with Catter, in general, you're taking a lot of random units. So pairs and triples don't necessarily come as easy, which I say as we get another triple immediately on our level 4 shop. Not exciting treasures, probably just fancy pants here. I'm a big fan of the pants. And then we'll get some extra stats onto our Sporko here, which I'm always happy to do with these range supports. And we're gonna play Mim in the front. I just think I value having the toughness up front over just a little bit of extra attack. Since we don't need the extra attack up front on the Minotaur and the Vampire, we do lose to their ranged backline, unfortunately. But yeah, we got another triple here. So only a slight amount of regret for skipping on that Skipping Stone. Probably just Beaker here. I do like Monster Manual a lot. If we had like a Friendly Spirit in the shop, I would just jam the Monster Manual. Monster Manual does scale up the Vampire, but I think the Beaker is just an all-around better treasure. And since those scatter stats are on a 4, even though this isn't the greatest Masquerade Ball shop, I figure getting extra stats onto a 5 is going to be good. And if you're unaware, the Masquerade Ball does say transform, so any Mad Catter stats that are on the shop will be transferred to the higher level character that Masquerade Ball turns it into. And that also works for cost reduction with things like Lucky. Alright, we get both stag attacks here, which is great. And our backline is much bigger than theirs, thanks to our stags. And our lock chest pops, and there's not exciting a selection of treasures. Probably just going to take the Merlin's hat. We've got the beaker, so we want to be able to cast spells whenever we see them. And so that's going to basically provide some econ where we're going to be able to cast spells without having to invest gold. Considering the monster book here, I'm just a big fan of monster book in general, but without any mages to scale with it, like I'm a little bit less high on it. So we're gonna get a free potion here, thanks to the hat, as well as we're gonna take this Amy. It got the Mad Catter stats, so it's a 10/10. Plus we're gonna put Fancy Pants stats on it, so a 13/13 range, even at 4.2, is just a very, very solid character. So we're gonna have a pretty decently sized ranged backline now. The Fates seems to have found a bunch of royals in relatively short order there, so they're pretty large. And that, fortunately, that Court Wizard isn't too big, and we take it out before it shoots down our backline. And our ranged backline is big enough to take out the resummoned Juliet. Considering Friendly Spirit here, because we have Beaker and Fancy Pants, of course, we're gonna mix a Whizzle our Vainpire. It's gonna give it stats with the Beaker as well. Another benefit to having Hat is just free cantrips. We're definitely gonna take a Nian. I'm a big fan of taking Nians on 5. Level 5 treasures are kind of unexciting for the most part, but I mean, getting golden Nian and TLKing it again. I've said it many times, but I think it's very good. Alright, and because we got the Catter stats onto the Polywoggle, and we've got a Luna's Grace here in the shop, we're going to cast that on the Poly. That's going to give it a 15 attack, which I think is pretty likely to slay on 5.0. So we're going to hope to get a random 6 here. And we managed to kill the one thing that we survive while slaying, so that's fantastic, and we get a pumpkin out of it after our Nian dies even, so we just get a decent amount of value immediately from that pumpkin and from that Poly, and we kind of just dominate this fight, and we're actually going to knock this player out from 12 at 5.0. A little unfortunate for them, but very fortunate for us. Alright, we get our Nian triple, or our pair, into an Ambrosia, so I feel like Ambrosia with a pumpkin already is it's kind of a no-brainer. We're just gonna set up a murder pumpkin immediately here. Also, we get another shot at a level 3 treasure. We're really hoping for Crystal Ball. We would replace Crystal Ball with that Ambrosia if we saw one. I mean, Hat Ball Beaker is very good, but unfortunately not to be. So we're gonna get out a Beaker now. I think Hat is just a lot more flexible as a treasure, and we're gonna take this pair of Robin Woods. And of course cast a spell for free. This opponent has a fair amount of stats. I mean, this is Jamie Topples again on Zippy with a treasure map. And a fair amount of decent units. But unfortunately we pop the murder pumpkin on her, and we get an Aeon Slay and knock her out. Alright, there's another Nian. There's other 5s that I'm definitely interested in. Especially on 5.2, I would definitely be happy with a Hand of Midas. Monkey's Paw is an excellent pumpkin treasure, especially while we have the Ambrosia to make a golden pumpkin super early. Also, like Sword of Fire and Ice is a fine amount of stats, and there's a couple others. And there's the Hand of Midas and Monkey's Paw. I think we're going to go with the Monkey's Paw first here. I mean, Hand of Midas would be really good going into 6 next turn, but I think we just want to get as many stats as we can onto our pumpkin and start basically start melting the lobby. We're already top board, as well as the life totals on the rest of the lobby are actually pretty low. We're just gonna sell down so that we have room for our Monkey's Paw bonus, and we miss being able to lock the third Robin Wood, which is a bit unfortunate. All right, and we take down that combat without even popping our pumpkin. I mean, it's the ghost. And there is a pumpkin, and actually we're kind of glad we didn't lock the Robin Wood now, because we're going to be able to evil twin it. We're going to get another level 5 treasure, and we're going to have an evil Robin Wood for our pumpkin board here. And there's that Hand of Midas that we passed up before, which is fantastic, which means we're going to get another golden pumpkin here. I feel like this is a very fitting comp for now that we're in we're getting into October, and we're about halfway through now, so kind of a pumpkin themed, almost spooky comp. All right, so first batch of summons comes out from our first golden pumpkin. This is a pretty big dwarf board though. They have a lot of stats, but fortunately our second pumpkin doesn't die when it attacks, so we're able to get some more board space, and then we overwhelm them with our second batch of summons, taking them from a second spot to immediately dead. So that's fantastic. There's a Medusa here, but Medusa does kind of compete with the Robin Wood for slot 1. Like, the positioning gets super weird if we bring it in, especially with Monkey's Paw. There's just so likely to get taken out. Like, I'm just kind of thinking about positioning right here. I don't really love having the pumpkin up front when we have Monkey's Paw, because I want it to be able to get summons out of it, right? If it just gets attacked into right away, like, that significantly reduces our strength. So, and I think it's time that we potentially switch out, and we didn't find anything worth switching for, so we just skipped there. And there is another pumpkin. We can take a gold for next turn, and then we'll have a third pumpkin on board. Again, this Fates player has stuck to their royals. They have added a crystal ball and been trying to pump up that court wizard. They have what's called half ball with Moonsonghorn and ball, because it does half the job that that hat does. All right, so we add our third pumpkin here. Unfortunately, this one is not golden. Try to mix a Wizzle into another gold pumpkin, because that would be fantastic, but unfortunately not to be. There's another pair of Neans. Well, we've already tripled 2, but I don't think there's any 5s left that we're going to prioritize enough. There is a Cat's Call, but the board space gets a little bit weird. Like, if our Cat's Call gets popped, then and our position 5 pumpkin goes next, and then we don't have any board space up front, then we lose a lot of power. So I don't think we're going to take Cat's Call, as good as it seems like it might be on this board. But we do see another pumpkin in the shop there that we're going to lock. And we're just going to throw out a Hermes Magic Beans real quick. Again, we don't really get much out of that pumpkin because it got attacked into first. But now we get our second batch of pumpkins, which is going to fill up our entire front line. Unfortunately, these Medusas are never going to get the chance to go. Our second batch of summons comes out. Again, the Medusa takes a hit even with the full board there. Unfortunate that they take out our scam, but the stats from those pumpkin summons is just enough to overwhelm the 9th book Mages player there. So yeah. We're calling this comp Pumpkin Time, because I don't know, it's time for pumpkins every turn, it seems. For the past little while. I don't know, that's dumb. Whatever. Anyways, so if you found this enjoyable or educational or interesting in any way, please leave a like and subscribe if you haven't already. I would really appreciate it, and it really helps the channel out. And again, you can watch these games live if you follow me over on Twitch, which will be in the description and in the pinned comment. Again, shout out to Pepino Martinez, who is a regular commenter over here and comes and hangs out live when they have the opportunity. So I really appreciate that from them. And yeah, I hope you all have a great day or night, morning, whatever time of day it is that you decide to watch this. I hope it's well. I hope things are well for you, and I will see you tomorrow.